everybody is doing good. I am right on time today. Look at that, 2 o'clock on the dot. I'll just allow people to come in, come in. I hope you brought your crafts and your good stuff. I have just been cruising right along on my makes here. We shall see what we see. Okay, I hope everybody's having a good day. It's really beautiful here to me. It's really overcast. We've had some really bright summer days this spring. Highs almost near 100, upper 90s. But today it's very overcast, cloudy. We're supposed to have some big thunderstorms moving in this evening, and oh, here it is. Some big thunderstorms moving in this evening and severe weather risks, which hopefully we will not be having any of that. Let's put this on mute so we will not get interrupted by the TV being loud. Anyway, so I am just working on my half and half triangles wrap. I want to show you guys where I'm at. I'm staying to the schedule so that I can have mine completed by the summer solstice. So in June. Look at it! If you don't know or have not seen my prior videos, this is a knit along that I am hosting for half and half triangle wrap. Started on the spring solstice and runs until the summer solstice, so approximately 90 days. And I am doing mine using all of my leftover mini skeins from my linen quill 40-piece mini set that I had purchased when I completed the Joy of Color scarf. So I did the math, and I am doing I'm starting out with 6 rows of each color, and then once I get 20 of the colors completed, then I'll move to 7 rows of the rest of the colors, and that will use up most of my yarn and keep all of my stripes pretty much even. So all 40 colors will be on one half of the triangle, and then the other half of the triangle, the last color on this sequence will be pale oats. And that means that when I go back and I resolve all my stitches, that will be done in pale oats, so that'll be my divider line. And the other half of my triangle will be pale oats as well, so there won't be a colored seam running down, so if that makes sense. And I just figured using 40 different colors, I needed to be pretty mindful on what I was going to do as far as something that was going to match everything. So I figured pale oats would be a great, nice neutral color. It's just an off-white. And I would actually like the idea of having an off-white half and half, because I can, have it on the fancy, crazy, loud, beautiful color side, or I can flip it around and have it on the pale, neutral side. So I'll be able to do with it as I wish. I have a few other things I've been working on as well. I should just make a video and show some of my current whips, but I've just been so unmotivated. I've been really motivated to do spring cleaning things in my house. I'm motivated to get out in my garden My husband and I are going to be putting together my raised bed this weekend, and I'm so excited because we are going to be um, getting the garden started this weekend. So I'm excited for that. Hello, hi Donna, how are you? I saw your updated picture. Your stuff is looking great. Here's what mine's looking like. I'm excited today because I started on my fresh pickle. I love this color, fresh pickle. It's so beautiful. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 11 colors? No, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colors. We're 10 colors out of 40. Thank you. I'm so excited for it. And my next color, I've already kind of been looking. I'm like, what's coming up next? That's the thing when you're doing color changing is you're always, I think it helps to keep me motivated. I've always been that way. It's why I've always loved any kind of color changing yarns. I used to love those mandala cakes from Lion Brand because it just would motivate me to get to the next thing. Mine is starting to finally feel weighty. It's looking good. I saw your updated picture. Did you get caught up like you wanted to? I've stayed consistent. I have managed to do this every day. Now, there have been a couple of days where I was playing with other things. You're not caught up yet. Well, you'll get there. Don't worry about it. You know what? Listen, you have a few days built in, even if you do get off, to still, if you just hop back on, you'll still be fine. You don't have to make up for nothing. It's supposed to be fun anyway, right? But my next color, anyways, is this clover green. So that comes in next. I'm doing this in the same order as I did my friend Jeanette is starting hers. Yay, good. Welcome, Jeanette, if you ever see this. I'll be excited. I hope you post pictures too. You can put them in my community tab or in yours or whatever. Tag me. I want to see everybody's good stuff. But I'm doing my wrap in the same color order recommendations from the Joy of Color scarf. That is another free pattern by Pearl Soho. So, clover green is next. And then, I gotta see a couple ahead. Kiln red, which is more of like a burnt orangey kind of a color. And it looks like to me that these colors are showing through pretty true, but you can't really tell until I see it back on screen. But yeah, so that's what's coming up. I'm so excited. I've got all my stuff here. One of my favorite colors. I love this color. Was actually looking when I see these things together. Yeah, it's kind of, but just it's deeper. A little darker, like a dark terracotta. A little darker than a terracotta pot. When I see these colors together in this bag, it starts making me excited about more color combinations for future half and halves. Or maybe button box throws. That is a new thing that I've got myself on. See, that's what I needed was one more project to start working on. Anyways, this color I love so much. It's called Golden Green. I don't know what it is about these. Anything, any kind of loud yellowy green color, I love it. But this one isn't too loud. It's, I don't know, I just love it. But I think it would look so pretty with this Stonewall Gray as a half and half. I love that. I just think it'd be really pretty. And it matched my eyes because my eyes are kind of a gray-green color. Future half and half wraps with other yarns. Yeah, you can do anything. And you can use other weights. I mean, there's nothing saying you couldn't do another weight. You can do whatever you want. That's what's so great about these. And that's one of the things I love about shawls in general is you can use the same pattern for most shawls for any weight yarn. If you want it to be bigger or smaller, you just keep going or you stop on a lot of things. Now with the half and half, you can adjust your initial cast on to make a bigger or a smaller. Um, can you imagine if you cast on 260 and you used like a worsted weight yarn? Be like king size bed. Probably weigh 150 pounds too. Goodness gracious. But you can do whatever you want, and it's just fun to just think. I love to still, even now, sometimes I'll just go on YouTube and search for half and half triangle wraps and just see what other people have done. People get so creative. There's one lady, her channel is called Republic of Me, and she did a half and half triangle. I took your advice and started that solid on the straight side. Much better, but it changes how it, oh, darn it, it disappears too quick on me. It's so rude. Okay. Well, who knows? It'll be good. Whatever it ends up being, it'll be good. I have no doubts. I don't think you can make one of these not look good. But this lady, this Republic of Me, her half and half, she did some color blocking, you know, some stripes, some black and gray and white. But then she also went in and did, yeah, she also went in and did like some mosaic knitting too. So she has designs going through it. It was really creative. I just love a pattern that you can add your own stuff to. A basic, simple pattern. Give me a basic, simple pattern and let me play with it. Let me mess around, you know. Even when I did my line of shawls, I don't always put in eyelets, or I've done a line of shawl with I-cord edging or something. I love a good, plain old basic pattern that you can play with. That's just the funnest. I have a very hard time ever making a pattern the way that it's written because I want to always be playing and add my own little flair to it, you know. So I will show you guys something. I was talking about the button box throws. So there is a pattern maker. Her name is Helen Stewart. And if you've done Advents, you've likely come across some of her patterns. She writes a lot of knitting patterns that work really great if you ever get yarn Advents or just want to use up scrap yarns. It's kind of one of her little special things. So she every year releases patterns that would work with Advents. And she's such a good pattern writer. She really maps everything out. The button box throw pattern is so amazing. It is made for, you can use it with a 24 10 gram mini skein Advent, or you can use one color. It doesn't matter. You do whatever you want. But she specifically writes out in her patterns like when you're finishing each 10, you know, what percent you're at, 5%, 10%, 20%, that you should be on this mini skein, that mini skein. Makes it really easier and fun if you're doing an Advent through the Christmas season or whatever, to know, oh, on Christmas Day I'm going to have this done. It's for me. But anyway, I digress. I am not using it for mini skeins, but I am making, I can't remember if I showed you guys this before. Can you read charts, Brandy? You know, I can do crochet charts all day long. Knitting charts I have done, but it's not my natural. I don't know. I love written. Um, I don't know why. I should just get a pattern that has charts and just go for it. Just only look at the chart. If they give me the option of both, I usually always look at the line by line. I think maybe I've only done one. I've not done. We'll just say I don't know how to read any chart. I mean, I think I can do it. I know I can. I've done it before, but it's not what I usually do. Now, that's just because I keep doing the same old, or what. But this is, Helen, this is getting real big and I can't open it all the way up. It is a square, but you knit it in the round. So this is the button box throw by Helen Stewart. And if you were doing a 10 gram mini, every one of these, You use the first mini twice. You do it once and then you do it again, and that uses up your whole 10. And then everything else you pretty much use one of your mini skeins, and she has it going. But I'm not doing mini skeins. I got some Halloween yarn from Knit Style Yarns. She is a hand dyer. She has her own YouTube channel, and this was some of her Halloween. It's the Pretty Poison, Familiar, and what was it? Bewitching Brew or something like that. But I love this. Oh, I love it. It's going to be a beautiful throw for me just to have. And I figure also it'll be perfect because because it is made with fingering weight. This one is, you could do whatever you want. It's what the pattern's written at, but you can do whatever you want. It's a blanket. Gauge really doesn't matter. But what a lot of people I've seen it, what they do is once they get it made, they may just fold it in half, and it's just like a half and half triangle and wrap it around. So you can do that too because it's a perfect square. So there's that one that I'm working on. And then, as you guys know, or some of you may know, I've been working on a the Prism blanket, which is a free pattern by Pearl Soho for my mom. And I don't know why, but I just got really bored with it. It's a very interesting construction. It's made to be reminiscent of the half and half quilt squares that you'll see people use. So you're constructing half and half knit squares and joining as you go, so there's no seaming at the end, and it's done in rows, join as you go rows. And it was really pretty, and there was nothing wrong with it. I just got bored with it for some reason. I don't know why. But I was having so much fun with my button box that I didn't pull out the other. I just have plenty of all these yarns that I'm using for my mom. I decided just to cast on in that yarn, which is the Pearl Soho's Good Wool, just to see how it would look. And I love it. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna have to give my mom this blanket instead. I guess I'll probably, if I need to, I can frog, but it's the same colors that I was using for my mom's other blanket and the Prism blanket, same yarn. So we have one more color. We're on the white row right now. So this is color 1, 2, 1, color 3. This white will be color 4. And then the last color will be this. Man, I just made a mess. Darker blue. So it's 3 shades of blue, a very pale gray, and a white. Or a creamy, yeah, it's kind of a pale gray, creamy color. But I love this pattern. So if you guys are looking for this is just knitting, because you're just doing it in the round. Like I say, the blanket's a square because you're increasing on all 4 corners. But you're just knitting it in the round forever and ever and ever. And then there's a row of eyelets thrown in every once in a while. So this is not hard. Very easy pattern. I don't know what wool wash Linen Quill or Pearl Soho is doing for their good wool. My linen quill doesn't have any smell to it at all, but this, I love the smell of this wool wash on their good wool. It smells good. It smells so clean and wonderful. Really like this yarn. We'll see how it blocks out. This is my first time using it, but I really like it. But yeah, so another button box throw. So that is a paid pattern, but very well worth it. She's done several different patterns. The Habitat throw was real popular. I think that may have been the year before last. Or the Habitation throw, something like that. How does the button box start? So, yes, you can do a pinhole cast on, but I actually went to Helen Stewart's YouTube channel and watched her doing a start on one of these. And I really liked the way that I saw people doing it. So what you do is you just take a crochet hook because hers starts out with, I think it's 6 stitches. So you just took a crochet hook and made a chain of 7 or 6. Wait a minute. Now I'm making myself so confused. No. I remember how I did it. Did take a crochet hook, but started with a magic knot, pull through, and basically do like you're going to do a single crochet but not complete it until you have 6 chains on the crochet hook, and then slide those in, pull the magic knot closed, a magic circle. Thank you, Donna, that's the word I was looking for. And then you just start. You got your first 6 stitches and you're just going to go around and around and around. The start is a little bit finicky. I tried starting it on double pointed needles. I'm not a double pointed needles girl. I don't like them. Yes, I think so. I just don't do it the regular way. I like it the crochet hook way. It was easier for me because I did try a traditional pinhole when I started a muscle burrow hat. If you've done a muscle burrow, that's the same kind of a pinhole start for that. And I did do that the pinhole way, but I much preferred this crochet hook way. So the crochet hook made it easy. And like I said, what I did was I tried it initially with the double pointed needles, and that was super finicky and I disliked it. So what I ended up doing is I just went on and got my I'm using a 40 inch US 6 4mm is what she recommends. So I just started with I just started with my long and just did. Boy, y'all, is this aging or is this hormones? What's wrong with me? I can't think of anything that I want to say. When you do use a long cord to do a little thing, what's that called? Oh my gosh, Donna, help. My Lord, I can't think of the words that I want to use. But I started on my long cord. Is that called magic loop too? Gosh. Help. So yeah. And then I just kept my stitches divided in half until it was enough stitches to. I do it a little different than a lot of people. I'll start out where it's like half and half, where it looks like the bow tie situation's going on. And then once I get more stitches, but not enough to where I can evenly spread them out and do truly in the round, I just will, at the beginning of the round, I pull my right needle out as much as you can where everything is scrunched up to the left side, and then I knit all the way around, and then I pull that needle again. I don't know what they call that, but it's just, instead of trying to keep flipping it back and forth, I want to go in the round as fast as I possibly can. And then once I have enough stitches, then I truly have it in the round. So, traveling loop, there you go. Boy, Donnie, you think that you've been doing this for decades. You've got the terminology down. I done forgot everything I knew about knitting except how to knit. I don't know what anything's called anymore. I haven't been knitting that long. I only started knitting 12 years ago. No. Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't know. Crocheting I've been doing for a while, but knitting not so much. I've immersed myself in it for a year. See, I remember I used to know these things. I just forgot it all. I just do it. I don't know the words. You have learned so much, though. You have learned a lot, Donna. Okay. And I've been working on this I need to get this done so bad. My husband's brother's oldest daughter just had a baby. And of course, how do I leave these out? I don't know why I do these things. I hate gift knitting, but I always end up doing it anyways. Has it been 1 year? That's crazy to think about, though. Doesn't seem like it's been a year, Donna. But I guess so. This, I started, oh my gosh. How in the world? Cats. That's how. That is how in the world they do it. Where is the darn? Ignore me, y'all. I don't know what's going on in the viewfinder, but is this real life? What is happening? Oh my goodness. Sorry, we're experiencing technical difficulties. I grabbed this and my yarn ball it's too floppy, so it got all messed up. But anyways, I told myself that I was going to make this baby a blanket, so that's something else I've been doing, and I haven't crocheted in a long time. I started it as a knit, but then I thought, well, I'll never get it done. I'm working on too many big projects right now. So let's go on and try some crochet, because we haven't done any crochet in a long time, and it's gorgeous. It's coming out beautiful as it can possibly be. And boy, I love this yarn for baby stuff because, oh, first of all, look at that color. That is a true beautiful baby pink. And this is called the baby shower blanket, I think is what it's called. It's on the Crochet Crowd. Mikey has a video tutorial for it. So you just jump in there and you start going. And you can just keep going until you get it as big as you want it. But I decided I wanted it to last a good long time. I wanted it to be hypoallergenic, and I wanted it to be very washable. Thank you, Donna. So I decided I had used this yarn when I was making knitted knockers when my sister-in-law was battling breast cancer. And I fell in love with this yarn, the Kobu, because it's what Knitted Knockers recommends for their knitted knockers. And it is a blend of, I have lost my glasses. Some days, I don't know about me, I worry myself a little bit. Cotton and then bamboo. So 51% cotton, 49% rayon from bamboo. So cotton and bamboo blend. Washes well. Love it, love it, love it. So I think that'll be nice for the baby. I have a long way to go. I have I think this is my second skein. Yeah, I can see I joined it right here. So we got to here with the first skein, center out, and then we've done that much. And we have this much of this skein left. It's getting pretty floppy. And then I have like 3 more skeins. And I'm already tired of making this because I only want to knit. It was fun for like that first couple of days. And then I was like, okay, that's enough of that. I'm ready to go back to knitting. I still love to crochet, but I take it in short spurts. I want to crochet something and then I'm done with that. I just want to go back to my boring old lady knitting that I just love so much. Oh, so anyway. So do you think your friend will join us on for the knit alongs? Brady, did you use the Friday Shrug? Yes, I responded to your, maybe you didn't see it. I sent you the link. I responded to the little thing that you posted and asked me about it. You don't need it, is what I was telling you in the response. I told you just download the Saturday Shrug. Here is why. The Friday, Saturday, and Sunday shrug are identical in pattern. They are just written for different weights. So the only thing that is different between any of them is the initial cast on. So the Friday shrug is made with, in the original pattern, the Friday shrug was 2 strands of fingering weight yarn, or you could use 1 strand of DK. You cast on 142 stitches. Follow the Saturday shrug pattern. It's going to tell you to cast on a different amount because the Saturday shrug was made for Aran weight. It was the worsted and lace. Yeah. And listen, that's not even hard set either, Donna. You can adjust those numbers. All those shrugs are is you cast on an amount of stitches, and it needs to be an even number because you are alternating knits and purls. And that's what makes them, you're just doing ribbing. That's what makes it such a good stretchy thing. But there are people, you know, if you're a little bigger, maybe cast on a little bit more. If you're a little smaller, you can cast on a little bit less. But that, she kind of just gave one number as like a general, like generally start here. And if you, this fits the average size person kind of a situation, because they were free patterns and, you know, she wasn't selling them or anything. So she wasn't trying to get into doing a lot of different sizing. It was just kind of use your intuition of what you think will be best for you. But yeah, the original, I believe it was 142. 142 is what I cast on when I made mine initially, and it fits me now. It fit me then. I weighed 50 pounds more then than I do now, and it still fits. So it's a good amount. Let's see here. Trying to see where that went. Drives me crazy how fast this goes away. Give me the messages. I saw your comment pop up, Donna, but now I can't see it. It's being rude and it's not coming up for me. Sometimes I just don't know what to do. I cannot get my chat box to pop back up. It won't let me see the chat, what you just said to me. Say something again so it pops up so I can go snag it. I don't understand why this has to be this way. I'm tempted just to try to go on my phone where this is airing and see if I can access the chat box better. Let's see. Friend is snoring. He's enjoying himself. Let me see. I'm gonna go to my own channel. View my channel right now. Okay. Let's see. Let us mute that. Where's mute? Okay. I'm a pattern. Oh, thank you. I found it, Donna. Kind of hard for me to start from scratch. Yes. So you'll do fine with the Saturday shrug. Like I said, it's the same exact. Just download the Saturday and just know that the only reason that the initial stitch count is different is just because they were written for different weights of yarn. But yeah, the initial, the Friday 100 and sorry, there was someone, I don't know, they were standing in my yard. I guess they were just pilfering before they moved on. 142 will get you going, and then you can adjust it if you need to. So, man, I haven't done any knitting. I'm doing terrible. I have one row left to do for today, and I'll be at my goal. I'm kind of doing the daily stitch rose goal or whatever you want to call it, so that I can have mine done on time. And I've only seen Donna's yet. Who else is here today? I see more people. This might be just a quiet day to just be relaxing. Nothing wrong with that. But I will tell you that, boy, the last knit and chat that we did, because my lamp, it's overhead, but let me try it. I'm just gonna see. I feel like it blew me out so much. It's pretty terrible. Look at the light reflecting off my forehead. Ugh, it's pretty awful. Um, but it's great when I'm knitting because I can see, and when it's off, it looks so much better on screen because then the natural light overtakes from the window. But then I can't see worth a poo. And man, last time we did this, last week, I had so many little tucked stitches of where I was thinking I was going into the stitch, but I was really going in the stitch underneath it and knitting, so that causes a little tuck stitch, which I didn't go back and change anything because I don't have time for that. But I just can't see well enough. The lighting is just a little bit too low. So, anyway, I've got the weather on behind me so I can kind of keep an eye on things. I don't know if anybody was in here yet, but when I started the video, I was talking about our weather. We're in that special time of year. I mean, to be fair, this can happen any time of the year in Oklahoma, but spring is a very tornado-y time of year for Oklahoma. So they're talking about some big thunderstorms moving in and tornado risks and blah, blah, blah. So we're hoping to just get the rain. No crazy hail or tornadoes for me. Thank you very much. I feel like we just broke a record for our temps in March. It was the warmest March on record ever for Oklahoma. And I know that record goes back to at least 1907 because that was in the top 10. I'm not sure how far back our record goes, but it was a warm March. And then we also, I think we were pretty close on a record for the number of tornadoes we've had by this time of the year. We had like 20 something tornadoes in one day a couple of weeks back. I don't like it. I don't like tornadoes. I like earthquakes. I don't know. Well, at least with tornadoes, you know you're getting a warning usually. You can go and make preparations. Those earthquakes, we started having those. I don't know. I guess it's been about, I think we're coming up on around the 15-year mark of earthquakes that I've known about. Let's say that, because people will say, well, Oklahoma's always had earthquakes. Well, no. I was born here. I've been here for a minute. And we may have had earthquakes that registered on a Richter scale, but no one felt them. And since I think it was about 2010 or 2011, we started having earthquakes that are very noticeable, where everyone's like, what was that? The first one we had, I thought, because I had never experienced it before, even though I've lived here my entire life, I thought someone had driven their car into the side of my house. I was sitting in my office and I was on my computer, and all of a sudden the house went boom. It was just like an explosion almost. And it, like, everything rattled and shook, and I thought, oh my God, someone just drove into my house. And I jumped up and ran into my kitchen, which was the opposite end of the house, and all the house was still there. So I thought, what in the world? So I ran outside, and then I ran around the house, and I saw nothing. And then by the time I got back around front, everybody in my entire neighborhood was standing outside looking. We're like, what was that? Earthquake. And then since then, we just go through stages. Sometimes they'll cut back and hold off on the fracking that they'll allow. My daughter did logistics for trucking for an oil company for a while, and there's something about if they start registering any little seismic activity once it hits a certain number, they have to pause their fracking for X amount of hours, have to pass with no more activity before they can begin again. So it has gotten a little bit better, but I don't know. I don't see Oklahoma stopping drilling for oil anytime soon, especially not right now. I imagine that oil is still gonna be right at the top of the list of things to do in Oklahoma. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like tornadoes, but I also do not like the earthquakes. Where can we go? I don't want any hurricanes. We don't have those here, but I don't want any of those either. So I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to go live that doesn't have all these catastrophe things happening. Well, gosh, these cats are making me tired. I wish you guys could see Friend. He is just out of the camera angle, but he is just real cozy right now. Wonder if I could tilt you down and let you see. He's so funny and fat. Friend is the kitty cat that's in the picture of the announcement for the live video today. Somebody commented and said it looked like their little kitty cat. I think they said their kitty cat's name was Amara, which is a really nice name. But Friend is one of my guys. He used to be a stray cat outside that would come and eat all my food that I would set out. And I guess he learned real quick that he liked me. And then he got sick. And so I brought him in and took him to the vet. And then after that, he just had to live with me. A lot of the stray cats that are outside are more feral. They trust me enough to not get completely freaked out. But there's only, of all the cats that come up to eat at my house right now, there's only one that will let me pet them. The other ones are just too skittish. They're not mean, they're just scared. And if I go out, some of them will stand on the porch and watch me, but I don't try to touch them or anything so they don't run away. But I imagine if I did, they would, because you can tell they're on guard. But Friend was not like that. He came up acting like he was just a part of everything right from the beginning. And that's when I found out that he had probably been abandoned. Well, he definitely had been abandoned because he was already fixed when I took him to the vet. He said, well, this guy's neutered and everything. So he had been somebody's pet at one point in time, but he didn't have a chip, and he'd been a stray cat coming to my house for a year before he came inside to be living the life of luxury that he lives now. Let me see if I can show you guys him. He's snoring. I'm just going to try to tilt it forward. There's this foot. Friend. You're so good looking. Look at yourself. Ooh, you so good looking. Yeah. You're on TV. Do you see that? You like it? Are you famous? Yeah, you're so cute. I know. That's what I said. I know, you're precious. When he gets excited, he makes more funny sounds when he's excited. Oh, okay. Good enough. I just had to show you guys him. He's one of my favorite people. He's one of my favorite people in the world. Now he's purring. Oh gosh. Anyways. Almost to the end of this row. These rows are still real long, even though I've done a lot of them. I think I wrapped and turned 200 and this is going to be my like 205th, 204th stitch. So we've done some rows. We started out with 260, so we've worked our way down almost like 56 stitches. Uh-oh, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, buddy? What's going on? Well, you can't be on me like that. That won't work. Okay. Hi. Hi. You be nice right there. Okay. But I feel like once the rows are less than 150, that's when it really starts to feel like you're flying. Before that, it feels like it takes, I did time myself today just because I was curious as to how long was it taking me. And it took me an hour and a half to do 8 rows, 4 if you go forward and back. Felt like a long time. But you figure that's like 410-ish, a little bit more because I obviously had more to start with. So like 1,650 stitches, which doesn't seem like very much. You'd think I could go much faster. It's probably though because when I'm doing this, I'm usually watching TV and changing the channel and surfing around and doing this and doing that. I'm rarely ever just focusing on what I'm doing. Friend. And then there's these kind of shenanigans, which I get distracted and interrupted a lot. What are you doing, buddy? And he's one of 9. You can only imagine. Everybody else is being real cool right now. They're all napping, and it's my fault. I shouldn't have disturbed him. But he was just being so fresh. Friend. I don't think I've ever had a cat that loved me more than Friend. I think that's why we're so special together, because he really is sweet to me. He follows me just like a dog everywhere I go. And usually he talks to me and tells me things. Don't you, Friend? You usually talk to me. You have nothing to say to me right now? Ow, that is my flesh. You're hurting it. He's such a good cat. He's such a good cat. He's a good fat guy. Show them your ratty ear where you were living the street life and somebody tried to get you. They hurt your ear. He had an injury when he showed up that day sick. Friend, I think because he was neutered, he's not a fighter at all. He's not a bossy cat. Now, obviously, there's a lot of male cats out there, but I was under the impression that if they didn't really bother neutered male cats because they're not really seen as a threat, but somebody had tried to beat him up and took a big chunk out of his ear. So he's got a big chunk missing. He didn't deserve that. And he loves to make biscuits, don't you? Are you a world famous biscuit maker, buddy? Okay, I made it to my marker. Yay. Flip it, move it to the front, slip it back, spin it around. Knit one, put it back. Oh, we're making things happen. Well, I hope everybody else is having a really good crafty day. I hope your weather is good and it's not too hot or too cold. I suppose this is Easter weekend, so for those of you that do the Eastering stuff, I hope that that'll be nice. I think we're supposed to have pretty decent weather for any of the little children. They're going to be hunting eggs and whatnot, or going to church, or whatever people like to do. It looks like it's going to be decent here. We're supposed to have rain and storms tomorrow, but I think Easter Day itself, it's going to be like, I think it's supposed to be mid 60s to 70-ish, which is perfect in my opinion. I'm sure some people are wishing it was going to be 80 degrees. That's not me. And I'm going to be getting my garden done this weekend. That is the one thing. I'm so excited to get my garden started. And I am going to take all of the knowledge that I have learned, which is not a lot. I'm not the biggest gardener, but I have learned some things over the years. I've learned to not grow things that I'm not going to eat. I've made that mistake. I remember one year I planted everything. I planted broccoli and Brussels sprouts and okra and like all these things that I thought, and then I didn't end up eating, like either stuff didn't produce or it wasn't enough that I was going to mess with, or it just wasn't something I really eat that much, so I ended up letting it go too long or something. So this year I'm only going to plant the things that I know that I will eat and want to pick every day. So I'm planting a variety of tomatoes. I'm going to plant, sorry, I'm looking at something on the TV. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's that Jimmy Seville guy. Anyways, or Savile or whatever his name is. Anyway, I'm going to plant a variety of tomatoes. I'm going to plant butter crunch lettuce. I'm planting green onions. I'm going to try to plant a pepper plant. I do not know what it is about peppers. I am never good at getting them. I might get 1 or 2 peppers ever on the whole plant. So I'm going to try. I'm just going to buy 1 plant. I will just do it as a plant, not a seed. I figured out which tomatoes work best in my situation. I can grow cherry tomatoes like nobody's business. I can grow lemon boy, heirloom. They're so good. I can grow those like crazy. And I can grow Roma tomatoes like crazy. Every other variety of tomato that I have tried to grow in my yard has been a fail. I really wanted to grow those darn Cherokee black tomatoes. Cherokee purples, I think is what they're called. Anyways, now I think out of the two plants that I had, I got one tomato. I don't know. It just gets so hot here, and so many different varieties of tomatoes. Once it gets above a certain temperature, that kills off the pollen. So um, last year I tried to plant these. They were called Mr. Stripey. They were an heirloom tomato. I only got like 5 tomatoes, and my plant was huge. That plant ended up being like 8 foot or something. It was so big, and just hundreds of flowers all over it. And I even went out there with a little paintbrush and hand pollinated every little flower, trying to get something to happen. And I don't know, I just think it was just the temps were just too hot. But yeah, so I'm also thinking I kind of want to plant. I know I'm gonna do herbs because I do love herbs, especially basil. I love fresh basil. Gotta have basil. Rosemary. My rosemary and lavender were huge. They had gotten, um, gosh, I think my lavender plant was about 5 foot in diameter. Um, but finally, it wasn't this past winter. It would have lived if it had been this last winter. But a couple of winters back, we finally got um, a temp that was just so cold. It just killed it. I was so disappointed because it had been out there. My lavender and rosemary had been growing for years. Um, so I need to replant lavender and rosemary. And I think I'm going to plant some catnip for the outdoor kitty cats to try to encourage them. I'm doing raised beds, so I'm not really concerned that they're going to mess around. But I thought it'd be fun to plant them a little patch of catnip just to give them something to occupy themselves so that they don't feel the need to try to mess around. Um, when I've done regular gardening in the past, I've always just laid chicken wire over my bed, um, and then cut holes for the plants, and then just sprinkled seeds, and they'll just grow through. But and that cats don't like that. They don't want to stand on chicken wire. They don't like that on their paws, so they stayed out. But this year I'm gonna do raised beds anyways, and they're about 3 foot. So I'm hoping that they're not gonna want to get in there and dig around or anything. But that's what's on my agenda. What are you guys doing? Got any good plans for this weekend? Oh my goodness, friend. Look at what we're doing here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get things. I guess I'm moving too much for his tastes. Listen, man. I hope I didn't turn off my chat. I guess I should look over here and see. If anybody's been saying something and I missed it, it's because um, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my goodness. Not now. Go away, thingy. Let's see. How do I? Oh, see, y'all have been typing and I haven't. It's not showing up on my thing. I'm so sorry, everybody. I promise I'm not rude sauce. Let me go through here and see if anybody had any questions. Wendy is here. Good. Very good. Well, thank you for liking my color work. is there a pattern multiple? I'm assuming that you were asking about that for the shrug. It's just two. Well, 2 plus 1. No, just two because it's in the round. Um, because it's just rib. It's just knit pearl all the way around. So you can do whatever you want as long as you just keep it divisible by 2. Um, oh, this chair. You know, this chair was a dream of mine for a long time. But now I kind of wish that I had a recliner. Let's see. Donna's got cloudy and rainy. Yes, we do love to. He's one of my first tabbies that I've had in a long time. He's so precious. Y'all can hear him purring. That's funny. Yep, you were right, Donna. It was off. Oh, goodness. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It drives me crazy. Look, it's seeing it showing on mine. It says it's on live chat. All messages are visible. That's what it says is selected, but it's not. I'm going to put test. See, it's just not showing up. How rude. That's why I have this setting it set up right here. That way I can see it. Oh, well. Y'all just yell real loud. If you say something, I'm just going to set my phone. I'm going to try to prop it up here so that I can kind of see if anybody says anything. I promise I'm not rude. Y'all were probably just thinking, gosh. And I was just sitting here trying to, I was starting to feel like a real, like those comedians that no one's laughing at or whatever. You're up there, is this thing on? Oh, yeah. Brenda likes my jokes, huh? Oh, and see, let's see. Hold on. We're going to get this worked out some kind of a way. Okay, there's that. Now, I think we got it here. Ooh, that sounds good, Donna. I'm trying to eat more vegetables. I had to do, well, with my autoimmune stuff, I have spent so much time trying to just do all these darn different elimination-y type things, trying to figure out which stuff was triggering what and what have you. But I'm ready to start getting some more vegetables going now that I know which ones cause me grief. And that sounds good. I don't know what's been into me today. My stomach just didn't feel good when I woke up. All I've wanted is things that I usually do not eat. I've had a bowl of white rice, which I don't eat grains like ever because they don't usually do well for me. But I just was craving a white rice, just steamed white rice. And then I had a piece of sourdough toast. I don't know. That is not my normal way of eating at all. I usually don't really eat much carbs because I can't eat gluten. So it makes it pretty easy not to eat a lot of like cookies and cakes and things like that. But I don't know. I just woke up feeling carby today. So we've had carbs and carbs. And I used the last of my marmalade. Gosh, I love eating marmalade. Orange marmalade. It makes me think of Paddington Bear. And Paddington was one of my most favorites as a young child. You'll have to you'll have to tell us where that recipe is, Donna. Silent reflux. I have not. What is that? Is it, when I think of reflux, I think of like heartburn or something. All recipes. Okay. Is it just called green bean casserole? I didn't get to have green bean casserole last year. I was so mad because they were being rude and they didn't have any of the um, gluten free French fried onions at the store. I waited too long to go. Okay. Thank you, Donna. Well, I'm almost done, guys. I'm almost done for today. And that means this was my sixth row in this color. And I'm going to get to start my clover green next. We're getting close to where I really, 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 really want to get to. As it applies no symptoms until it's too late. Oh, that sounds awful. I've had that feeling where you just, it's just like, ugh, that's terrible. That sounds awful. I would not like that. Don't want that. Luckily, my gluten intolerance doesn't cause me any GI problems. So that is good, but I don't have celiac. I have Hashimoto's. And when I eat gluten, I break out in a rash and I get big hives, especially on my face, and then I get big rashes on my arms, and then I hurt all over from head to toe, and I run a low grade fever, like body aches, like when you get the flu, and it usually lasts for about 24 hours. It just depends on how much gluten I get. Yeah, I had no idea that what was wrong with me. It's funny too because I just kept asking all the doctors at work because my doctor had ran every test in the world on me. He was like, you don't have Lyme disease. You don't have, he was testing me for everything. Rheumatoid arthritis. You don't have this and that. And I was like, well, I don't know what's wrong with me. Something's not right. I'll tell you what, because all I did, like I said, I gained like 50 pounds, was just hurting all the time. All I did was, and I was so tired. Oh, I was so tired. Just come home. I'd work 12-hour night shifts at the hospital. And then when I was not at work, I was laying on a heating pad, just moving it up and down my body. And I'd just get up to go to the restroom. I didn't do much. It was terrible. And I had never been like that. That was not my normal way of being. I'm not a person that dwells on being ill. I don't like it. I've got stuff to do. Um, but no, it took a couple years before a doctor diagnosed me. Which she was an endocrinologist, and no coffee, sugar, chocolate, fried foods, or tomatoes. I love tomatoes and coffee, but I need to cut down on my coffee. I can see that coffee, especially with a reflux, because even I can feel. I I do 1 cup of coffee in the morning. Um, no chocolate either. I don't really eat fried foods, so because I don't do seed oils. Seed oils cause me really bad inflammation. Gluten causes me bad inflammation. Most grains in general, like I said, white rice is not usually something I eat because it'll generally cause me some inflammation. Um, but I tend to do really good with any meat. I don't have any problems with meat. Um, I do fine with any, I don't have any problems with dairy, and thank God for that. Because if they took away my dairy on top of taking away my beer, yeah, I use all if I do any oil, the only oils we have at our house is avocado, coconut, and olive. I'll eat those. I just don't eat seed oils. Seed oils like canola and corn oil and all that creepy crap. Sunflower oil. I cannot. None of those are for me. Um, I just don't eat very much fried stuff though. And even like if I do like eggs or something, I usually just use a little butter or some bacon grease. I do save my bacon grease, but I don't need a whole lot of that either. But I have it if I need it. Yeah. I'm trying to get my husband to get off of the seed oils. He has really bad eczema. Um, and I'm just convinced. I'm like, buddy, those seed oils are just they are one of the most highly inflammatory foods. They're so processed and just but yeah, we love us some I don't buy any of that. I only buy so when he's here he does good. He'll eat. He loves olive oil, but he wants to try to fry everything in it. And I'm like, no, use the coconut or the avocado for the high temp. Um, but yeah, that's our go-tos also. I think the only other thing, like as far as vegetables go, I cannot get down with high nitrate. That's one thing I figured out. So no spinach, which is sad because I used to love spinach. Weird. Even as a kid, I loved spinach, but I cannot do spinach or kale or chard. Um, so I'm picky on my greens. I can do most loose leaf lettuces and things like that. Arugula doesn't bother me. I'm done. Hey, let me give you guys a helpful hint. I don't usually use stitch stoppers, but with these, because they get pretty weighty, use your stoppers. You are gonna cry if you don't. I promise you, no matter how wonderful you pull these and cinch them and fold them and stick them in your bag, at some point, as this gets bigger, you're going to go to try to move this and all these stitches are going to slide right off and then you are going to be so sad. So just starting now, everybody use your stitch stoppers. Canned spinach to work and it grossed out my coworkers. Do you know what I used to love as a child? This sounds so gross, but I promise it's good. My dad got me onto it. Plus, when I was a kid, Popeye was a real big deal. So, there was that. But if you take canned spinach and you drain the water out, and then you take the water and then you squeeze, and you just squeeze all the water out to it. So you're like a little green ball of spinach. You want to get all the water out. But then you put get your pan nice and hot, whip up some eggs, throw your eggs in your spinach and make you these scrambled eggs with spinach. That used to be my favorite thing ever. I loved it. It sounds disgusting. And I don't know, I think I was just a weird kid because I loved all that stuff. My daughter was like that too. I remember taking my daughter and one of my really good friends' daughter, they're the same age. They're grown now, they're in their 20s. But they were like 4 years old. And I took them to the Golden Corral. And I used to be on my friend's butt all the time. She was a single mom. Nothing wrong with that. I've been a single mom myself. But she was terrible with the food. It drove me crazy. I ran a licensed childcare, and she would show up with her daughter, and this little girl would come to my door, and she'd be standing there with a Mountain Dew and a can of Pringles at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, you cannot be feeding this stuff to this kid. That is so not good. Anyways, my kids always got a lot. I let them eat some junk food. It's not like I was mean. Ooh, frittatas and quiche. I have not had a good quiche in a long time. Anyway, so my kids loved, I always gave my kids, I've always been pretty big on natural foods. Not, we can never have anything processed. I've never been like that. But let's eat as much real food as possible. So my kids always ate, Brussels sprouts and broccoli and all kinds of eggplant, vegetables of all kinds, all the time. Spinach. This little girl, the only vegetable she would eat would be a potato. And she preferred that fried. But I took her and my daughter to the Golden Corral. They were like 4 years old. And I was like, okay, ladies, you get a plate and you can just put what you want on it. And so we're all kind of up at the buffet, which is, massive at the Golden Corral. And I'm kind of keeping an eye, and everybody's getting their plates. And we all get back and reconvene at the table. And I look, and my daughter has okra and salad and green beans and Brussels sprouts and potatoes, and every single item on her plate was a vegetable. Every item, entire plate full. And then I look at little Lexus's plate, and I'm just like, she has gummy bears. Because at Golden Corral in the ice cream section, they have the toppings that you can put on there. She has a variety of candies, which were toppings from over there. She has like a brownie, a cookie, and something else. I was like, you got to go get her real food. You have a plate full of candy and desserts. This is not going to work here. Let's just slide this out and you go get something that's not a dessert or a candy. And she came back with a slice of pizza. And I said, well, I guess that's as good as it's going to get. Oh my gosh. Was that cafeteria? That's ringing a little bell. I think, I don't know if they call them that wherever you're at, but we had these kind of like, they call them cafeterias. It is. Okay, yes, okay. Well, I think we used to have those. My grandfather loved the cafeterias. And I can't remember. I don't think we have any of those left anymore. We don't even have our Golden Corral anymore. It's gone. The Chinese restaurant bought it, and they marked out the word Corral and changed it to World. So now we have the Golden World Chinese restaurant. Oh, goodness. All right, guys. Oh, what was it? The Delta Cafe? He liked that. That was kind of like a cafeteria that was like that one too. How funny. Things come and go. Some things never change though, right? All right, well, I am gonna get off of here and try to decide what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. I probably should eat something besides a carb. Probably need some protein in my life or something maybe. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. If you're doing anything special, or if you're just not, I hope you have a cozy weekend where everybody's being happy and working on their chores. Thank you for Brittany. Good to see you. Yes, it's good to see you guys. I'm sorry I haven't made a real video. I'm so bad. I could never make it as a professional YouTuber. I just don't know how these people bring themselves to be creative in that way every day. It's a lot of work making those little videos, even though it shouldn't be. It just seems like it'd be so simple. All right, well, you guys take care, and I will see you sometime next week. Well, I figure we can at least check in at least once a week as we're going through the cow and just keep each other motivated and see where everybody's at. And feel free to post a picture before um, a live or whatever in the community section to show your progress if you want to. All right. See y'all later. Bye.